Good morning and welcome to our monthly webinar. Today, I will be going over how to find the perfect bid for your business. I'm Maurice Harari and I'm the founder and CEO of the Bid Lab, company that helps other companies and organizations respond and build out their requests for proposals, requests for quotes, anything that has to do with bidding. We consult and we are here in any capacity that you require. So if you need help finding bids, managing bids, or building your bids, we are here to help. So today we're going to be focusing mostly on finding our RFP opportunities. And the reason why we're focusing on that today is we've been seeing a lot of interest and a lot of new prospects coming to us asking us if we can develop something or we can help them, find a solution to finding opportunities. And, it's so funny because when I started this company, it was really interesting to me how many opportunities there were or how many softwares there were to really find our RFP opportunities. And so, in the beginning, the Bid Lab didn't really do this as a service offering. We did this more as as an add-on service to our clients. But there was a lot of demand for it, and I was looking into it and I was realizing, there's really no good solution out there currently for finding RFP opportunities. I think, a lot of people are frustrated in different industries. I mean, the Bid Lab is not industry specific. We're industry agnostic, I like to call it. And so in each industry, we're seeing a lot of demand for finding the right bid finding opportunities, and there's just no good solution out there. And so what the Bid Lab really tries to do is to figure out for each industry how we can find specific bids for that type of client. And so what we do is we have a real life human going through and actually analyzing all the different results that might come up for a client. And so what we wanted to do is, in conjunction with the launching of our new bid finder software and product that we've been launching, we wanted to go over some best practices and some best tips. I always like to empower people to find RFP opportunities by themselves. I always like to try and figure out a way to empower small businesses to figure some of this stuff out on their own. I know budgets aren't necessarily the biggest for smaller businesses. And so we always try to make things easier for you guys to figure out by yourselves. But by all means, if you can't figure it out, you don't have the time to figure it out, and you're just getting inundated with these automated systems sending you keyword matching RFP opportunities that have nothing to do with your business. If any of those issues sound familiar to you, you are more than welcome to engage us. We actually offer our bid finding software for, it's complimentary for our clients that we actually manage bids for. So, it could be a cost competitive way of getting way better of a service than, say, using one of these softwares that is just automated and just does, and when I say automated, I think people get confused. They think, I'm trying to put down some of these services, or, think that there's just not, that we're just better. It's not that one software is better than the other. I would say, the way that we differentiate our software from, other companies is that there's a real person in the back end making sure that it matches with your specific business. Not every business. So for instance, if you're an event planning company, our software is not going to just send you every single bid that has to do with event planning, but it's actually going to send you every single bid that aligns with your business. And we have a proprietary way of figuring this out for your business. So by all means, you are more than welcome to reach out to me specifically. All you have to do is submit a request to respond@thebidlab.com, or you can go to thebidlab.com's website and fill out a free consultation form. So going through some of these best practices, what do I start with? And, a lot of people, think that we're only looking at bids for our clients, but actually the Bid Lab looks for bids for the Bid Lab itself. And it's actually very funny. You would think it would be very straightforward, we do RFP services, but when the government or a larger institution is looking to source vendors, we actually have a product called the Bid Builder. Now, this Bid Builder product is really there's 5 different ways that we help clients build out their RFPs in order to get the best possible vendor and have the most efficient use of their, budget in order to procure a new solution. So a lot of governments actually post an RFP for an RFP writer. It sounds very bureaucratic and redundant, but it's actually a good way of differentiating between a vendor like us who does everything and works around the schedules of our clients and works around their processes, compared to a different company that might be set in their ways and refuses to customize their services. So we always love responding to RFPs and winning them. It's really a great way for us to build out that business. But in the beginning, we were really struggling to find RFP opportunities with for RFP writers, because if you think about how all these softwares actually, match up opportunities with businesses, it's you put in keywords. Now, for RFP building, I would type in RFP and writer, or RFP builder, or RFP consultant, and every single RFP that came up that had the word RFP in it, so you can imagine every single RFP would come up, and it would be extremely, extremely frustrating. Basically, it didn't whittle down the results to anything. It really just gave us every single opportunity out there. And I realized, I said, if this is happening to us, this must be happening to other clients. And so I started calling some of our clients and saying, what are you doing to find these bids? And, story after story of the disasters and the time consuming, process that they've built out internally in order to send us the bids to then manage. And I said, we can do that. That's something we understand. And what we did for the Bid Lab is we figured out a certain set of criteria that is only available within that scope, that whittles down every single RFP opportunity into RFP opportunities that are actually for something we're looking for. So you can look at geography, you can look at budget, you can look at different ways of eliminating some of the results that just wouldn't be applicable to your business. And so what we started to do was build out different criteria for different industries. Now, the way we've taken this a step further is we've actually, one of our newest members who's joined our team, who has almost 20 years of experience in the procurement space, he is really passionate and has a fantastic understanding of the RFP opportunity finding process. And so together, we've been software that allows our clients to have a custom feed that whittles down based on 17 different attributes, the RFP opportunities that we find. And so in doing so, we actually tested this on ourselves. And so, I found that finding RFPs for RFP writers is probably the most difficult, just because it's so redundant in terms of the use of the words RFP or RFQ or any of those words. And those software works for us, and we've been submitting bids now every week or so for the Bid Lab itself for different government entities. So it's been really successful. But some of the tips that I can give you when you're looking is, first of all, have someone dedicated to this process. If you're not going to use us, you have to use someone. Using a software alone, and they could cost anywhere between $30 and $100 a month. It's very enticing to think, if I dedicate this budget, I will get X number of bids. And that's really what they sell you. But the reality is you're then going to have someone go through those results and see if those actually make sense for your business. Did they find the requirement on page 50 that actually would disqualify you? A friend of mine, who I think is watching right now, he came to me with an RFP, and he is brilliant in the real estate space, and he just does not want to be focusing on a request for proposal while he's building out and developing other projects. And so he came to us to manage the RFP, and we started looking through the RFP, and I realized that there's a requirement that he would totally be disqualified for. So before we started running up the hours or, started working on the actual RFP and wasting everyone's time, I pointed it out to him, and he was really thankful because he didn't want to waste his time on something that would be disqualifying. So something that I would totally recommend for you is to first and foremost have someone that is responsible for signing off on moving forward with RFP responses. Um, it's a little bit of a resource killer, and I understand that that's frustrating. But if you don't put the right amount of resources into finding those opportunities and improving those opportunities, you're really just wasting your time. You might just lose. Imagine you fill out a 100-page document. It takes at least 80 internal hours for you to complete this RFP response on your own. Just a side note, could actually, we typically complete RFPs for a first-time client between 20 and 30 hours. But if you're doing all that work by yourself and you're doing all that internally and you don't have that expertise and you don't know how to do it faster, I would say, yeah, it's going to take you that long. And if you do that and you waste your time and then you realize that you were disqualified over something that you just don't have a certain certification or you don't have the certain minimum requirements met, then the next time you do find an RFP and you're really excited about it, the rest of your team is not going to be interested. The morale is going to be out. You would have wasted everyone's, patience on an RFP that just didn't work out because of something so stupid. So just make sure you read it all over before you start responding. Make sure that there's someone on your team that knows what to look for your business, that understands specific criteria, but also has the ability to reach out to you if you're the business owner to say, is this something that's strategic for us? It's a lot of work, but it could be a $450,000 deal. Is this something that you want to, is the risk worth the reward? That's something we actually always do with our clients. I think people think, it's just a matter of, figuring it out always and just doing it for our clients. But we actually work in tandem with our clients to make sure that it's strategic for them. Another big, component of looking up RFPs is to really whittle down your keywords. I think a lot of people get very focused on trying to get the biggest set of RFPs. And so they'll just put everything related to their business. I mean, it's like AdWords almost. If you're in AdWords or you're in marketing and you start putting in different keywords, you realize that very quickly that if you put too many keywords, you're attracting the wrong type of clients. And so for yourself, it's the same thing with the bidding. You want to make sure that you're putting in focused enough keywords that only those opportunities come up. For instance, if you're in technology and you develop software, but you really do the best in custom software development instead of just, out-of-the-box solutions, I would say then, make sure the word custom is in your keyword. There's a lot of opportunities that are focused specifically on custom and not just on out-of-the-box. Another way of doing this and to really be, taking it that next level is to really have a certain set of government entities and larger institutions that sign up specifically for their portal to receive, bids. It keeps things more focused. What I would suggest if you do that is to keep a separate inbox for that, for those bids. You do not want that mixing up with your, with your email. It really could get very, very, you could get very, very inundated with opportunities, and that can be a disaster if you actually need to use your inbox to respond to clients. I know I do this because I don't want to miss a client email ever. So I always keep it separate in a different email address. The final thing that I would say, in finding RFP opportunities is, be patient. Go after the right bid first. When you're writing that first bid, it's really important to have the right opportunity for you. We're in the midst of onboarding a client right now. And at first he came to us and he said, I want to go after at least 40 bids in the first, 3 months. And I said, we're more than welcome to, we're more than happy to do that for you. But I would really suggest you slow down a little and you take the first 3 months to really respond to 3 RFPs. The right 3 RFPs. Let's develop this content together. Let's develop this, our process together. And then let's scale it out and get 40 bids, within 6 months. I think it'll be a lot more successful than, and he agreed, he said, you're right. He didn't know how bad it could get. And I explained to him, how messy that can get working on all those bids at once when you don't really know what kind of bids you want to go after. So we're doing some A/B testing in these first few months and trying to figure out what kind of opportunities work the best for him and what don't. I'm really excited about that opportunity, and that's actually going to, more information to come there. The final, just to close out exactly what, finding these RFP opportunities, it can be a disaster. And I know that a lot of clients get upset and frustrated because it can lead to no revenue. And so we offer this as a complimentary service if you are a bid manager client. And we are really happy and to show you and to give you a demo of what we can do for you. I definitely invite each and every one of you to, fill out a form on our website. We offer free information. Our resource center is fantastic. One of our writers, John McCullough, is really, really talented and has been writing some great, articles on our website. I also want to announce that we've been officially publishing in the Forbes Business Council. So if you are interested in hearing more about, bidding, we write for that now as well. Our first article can be found at Forbes.com. And you can just type in my name, Maurice Harari, to find the first article that we've written. The second article is coming soon, so look out for that. And finally, we've spoken a lot about finding bidding opportunities with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce in an interview this month that was published. Really a very interesting article. Not just, we weren't the only, the Bid Lab wasn't the only one featured. We actually we read the article, and there was some very interesting legal information in there. Very interesting, article. So I totally recommend it. It's in the CO magazine. And if you are signed up for our newsletter, you would have received a copy of that. If you haven't, go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. I promise you, we do not share your information and we do not bombard you with emails. We send about, 1 or 2 emails a month. And they're all really informative. I know I don't like getting spam, so I don't like spamming you. Again, have a great rest of your day today. Hopefully this weather gets a bit better for May. And thank you so much for joining.